Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to Heart podcast. In this podcast, we slow down and have genuine conversations about the things that touch our lives, our struggles, our growth, and everything in between. Um, to be honest, it's actually hard for me to talk about today's topic, especially that it is something I am personally struggling with. The thing is, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because it's like talking about something that I not necessarily apply in my life, but of course I try to. So let's differentiate first between knowing the truth and applying the truth. Knowing the truth, okay, first they should certainly go hand in hand, but sometimes you can know the truth but struggle to apply it in your life, or that the process is taking time, or that you're for example you are taking it step by step, or you cannot do all the thing all at once. So yeah, but that of course does not deny the fact that the truth is still the truth, and we will have to stick to it no matter what. So today's topic is about modesty, the way we dress. And I don't claim that I'm 100% modest myself, and that's actually why I'm doing this episode. And I'm thinking, and I want you to think of with me of modesty. What is modesty, and where should we get the definition or the rules of modesty, and how to apply it in our lives, what it takes to be modest. So when I think of modesty, I think of hijab. And my hijab story, it was nothing special. It was just that my friends wore the hijab, so I wore the hijab, and we're all wearing hijab at this certain period in our lives. So I wore the hijab, but I did not think about the hijab truly until later in my life. And nowadays that I'm starting to search and understand what modesty or what hijab is, I realized that we sometimes misinterpret or misperceive or even misrepresent hijab. And by this I mean, for example, you go anywhere, especially if you're young. So you go to school, you go to college, you go to a mall. So you go to places where young people usually go to, and you see young hijabis. They wear hijab in a certain way, and they are all influenced by this way of wearing the hijab. They're all pretty much wrapping the same hijab wrap. They're all wearing the same style, the same pants, the same tops, the same everything. And even fashion brands, I see fashion brands nowadays, they market themselves as combining modesty with fashion. So maybe when you just read it, you might think, oh, there's nothing wrong about this. But I beg to differ. Mainly because where do we get the idea of modesty? Is it from people? Is it from just being influenced by people? Is it from, okay, I see people wearing the hijab in a certain way, so I just do the same as them because I think that it's right since everyone is doing it this way? Or is it from fashion trends? I go to brands and I see the clothes there, and I just wear it because they say this thing is modest, and they market themselves as a modest brand. Or is there another standard? Of course, there's another standard, and that's Islam, surely. But I feel like even though we know quite well what is the standard, and we know the rules, and we know everything, or even if we don't know them, but we can easily access them, we can easily get to know them, but we're still indirectly influenced by the other aspects. And by other aspects, I mean the people around us and the and even the fashion brands. So number one, how we are influenced by the people around us. So as I told you, for example, as a college student myself, I go to college and I see most of the girls, they wear hijab in a certain way that is not necessarily the best way. Like for example, they wear the hijab loosely, and the like sometimes the neck is not properly covered, or they're wearing tight tops or tight jeans, or or whatever, they're putting too much makeup or things that defy the idea of the hijab. And when I see this and it's so prevalent, I might think, and I guess this is one of the ways that shaitan basically gets into us, that he makes us think that this thing is normalized, that it's okay to wear this because everyone is wearing it. So, you know, but I know sometimes we are, we just are, as I said, manipulated. So we are, for a moment, uh, narcotized. We are not conscious of what we're doing, of again, what the hijab actually should look like, and we go with this flow of wearing hijab in this way that we see everyone is wearing. And I'm not saying that uh, it is easy to defy this, because it's actually hard. The temptation is real, especially that when you look at these girls, you might think they're beautiful. So it's like they're beautiful, and you want to be beautiful, and it's totally valid. So that's why you do this. You put makeup. You wear these certain clothes to make you because they are prettier, and of course they're prettier. But the thing is, the idea of the hijab is not to be it's not, I don't want to say not to be pretty, of course, but I mean to hide your beauty, so that your beauty does not be so visible, or too visible, I should say. Because of course everyone is beautiful, we're all beautiful, but the thing is, we do not want to over beautify ourselves when it comes to hijab. So that's why we wear the hijab. So this is number one, how we get influenced by people. We see uh, people all around us, they do something and we mimic them, and we think that, okay, this is the truth, everyone is doing it. Number two, how fashion brands are influencing us. So this idea of linking modesty with fashion, even though you might think it is normal, but I do not think it's normal. I do not think it should be normal, because we are indirectly shifting the standard from Islam, or from religion, what are the religious rules of hijab, of modesty, to fashion. Because sometimes, or not just sometimes, but a lot of times, fashion trends do not align with hijab. So in these cases, what should we choose? Or should we choose hijab, or should we choose trends? So my point is, we should understand hijab, the right rules of hijab, from the main source, and try as much as we can to apply it in our lives, regardless of how or what people around us say or do or wear. And the influence, it is surely still there, and we will have to deal with it, but we'll also have to constantly remind ourselves of the source, and why we wear hijab will make wonders. And by the way, when you're a hijabi and you wear the hijab the right way, you're not just helping yourself, you're also helping other girls around you. So, as I told you about the negative influence, that when you see, for instance, girls wearing makeup outside, and you tend to feel like you want to do the same, there is the positive influence, when we abide by the rules of the hijab and wear it properly and other girls see us, we encourage them to do the same. And I have personally seen this a lot, where hijabis or even non hijabis, they go to a girl who's wearing hijab properly and tell her, I admire your style, I admire your modesty, and I wish I could start dressing more modestly one day. And what's beautiful about hijab or being modest is that it is actually more than just clothing. It's about attitude, choices, the way we talk, the way we walk. It's basically a woman's 3D protection. So we shouldn't in any way undermine hijab, even if we were non hijabis or even hijabis but not wearing hijab properly. We should also not normalize the abnormal. So just because a hijabi wear uh, wears some tight clothes doesn't make these tight clothes okay with the hijab. And disclaimer here, I'm not at all saying if you're not wearing hijab properly that you better take it off. No, never. You should actually keep wearing it and work on yourself to try as much as you can to be a better Muslim. And we all are going through phases when it comes to our hijab journey. And of course, change does not always happen overnight. So, what we have to do is to make dua, lots of dua, and ask for guidance and take steps towards our goal. I'm saying this because I see people normalizing the abnormal. And this mostly happens in the West, but it's slowly slipping into the Middle East as well. So I saw this sketch, comedy sketch. It is in an American school. There was in a classroom, and there was this guy. He was sitting, and in front of him was a girl, and she was wearing an off-shoulder top. So the guy was distracted. He could not focus. He kept looking downwards because he cannot concentrate when this girl wearing the off-shoulder top is in front of him. So the sketch is basically mocking the guy. It's like, why are you not being able to concentrate? It's like you should be able to concentrate. It is okay. And they're also mocking the idea that this girl was later dress coded because she's wearing this revealing top. So little by little, we're mocking this and we are lowering the standard more because and actually in the West they do not have, I believe, a solid moral base. They do not have a standard because most countries are either atheists or they don't even care about religion. They are secular. So it is so important for us to know the standard and keep it in front of our eyes, to try as much as we can to stick to it, to apply it, and to defend it, and not let just any ideology affect us, affect the way we think, or affect the way we act or perceive things. And about the sketch, by the way, the guy's reaction I see is so normal that he basically looks downwards because like in Islam we know that certain parts in a female's body is awra, and it is awra because of a reason, of course, for a reason, of course, regardless of whether we know the reason or not, but it is still awra. So we cannot say, I mean, what they're trying to say, what the sketch portrays is that it is okay to wear whatever you want to wear, and men, they should be okay with this, and they should deal with you normally, and they should not look down or look away because they don't want to look, or they I don't know how to describe it, or when they if they look they might feel something towards you. No, and if they do feel something towards you, that's their fault, and they should not do this, and they should control their self, etc., etc. So of course I'm not saying that men should let themselves feel whatever they feel if they saw a woman, for example, wearing revealing clothes. No, I'm not saying this, but I'm saying that it is normal for a man to feel a certain way when he sees a woman in revealing clothes, and this is nature. It's so natural. And that is why hijab is there, to basically prevent this, or to prevent the occurrence of this in certain cases and allow this in other cases when it comes to marriage, for example. So, long story short, never ever ever normalize the abnormal because the majority of people do it, or because the majority of people, or because the authority or whatever, whoever holds power wants to normalize it. Nope. Truth is truth, and wrong is wrong, regardless of what everyone does. So I guess that's it. I hope you guys liked the episode. It was, as I said, hard for me to record, and actually I did record it not in one shot, not as I usually do the other episodes. So I hope it was beneficial to you in some way. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one, inshallah. Take care.